Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Shed Talk Show, where we come to you live from the shed industry and answer any questions you might have about the industry and so on and so forth. Of course, your host, Andrew Boyle, with
Peter Miller. Guys, welcome back to another episode. And just like always, we look forward to talking to you, and hopefully you can take the little bit of advice or at least knowledge that we have and use it in your shed lots and be able to increase your sales. And that's kind of our goal, is to be a benefit to you guys.
absolutely. And if you have a question or want to join the conversation, click the link in the description. You click a link, it'll bring you basically behind stage, and then I will bring you, introduce you, and ask. You can ask your question or just join the conversation. Any question pertaining to the shed industry, sales, marketing, anything like that, we'd be happy to answer or get your name out there in the shed industry. If you are a supplier or whatever your role might be, you're welcome to join the conversation. Everybody is welcome. Also, you can text us your question. You can text it to my personal cell phone. That is 352-440-0786. Or you can simply comment on wherever you're watching this, on Facebook, on the Simply Shed Talk group, or on YouTube on the Simply Shed Talk. You can comment on there and I will see your comment. I can bring that on stage as well. So lots of different ways to ask your questions. But if you follow the Shed Sales Summit page, I posted on there on last Saturday of a Easter egg event at Crossroads Sheds. And I know, Peter, we wanted to talk about something different, but I just thought of this. I know I told the viewers, for all the three people that watched my video, that I would give them some updates. But anyways,
So tell me about your updates. I'm curious. I was intending on coming to the Easter egg hunt, and actually I was in training, and I spent all day at another one of our locations. We sold 4 sheds. We got reviews, we got referrals. Oh, go ahead.
You know what I'm going to ask you, Peter?
I know. I just said
Did you
it.
sell them? Did you sell them?
So I have a new guy who started at our location. He came out of Ohio, actually, and he has his name on the sale, and it's accredited to him. And so we work together as a team to get him across the board. One of the things is learning the systems and processes and such like that. So he gets the credit on 3 of the 4, and then I get credit on one of those.
Okay, listen, it doesn't matter to me who gets credit. I want to know, did you ask for a referral?
Yes.
Okay.
I answered that before you even could get it out. Yeah.
You knew I was going to ask on this show, didn't you? Hold on. There we go. Did you get a review?
I did. And you can go on Iguana Sheds and look up our reviews, and you can see we got 5-star reviews. So that is something that we've already talked about, but make sure you're doing it each and every time. And so going back to what you initially mentioned was the Easter egg hunt. And I saw Brandon Suarez out in Utah Structures. He had done a helicopter drop for Easter egg. And so I thought that was really cool. And then you guys, I know, went over the top with everything there at Crossroads in Arcadia. So tell me what all you did have, and then how many sheds you sold off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, this is was not necessarily my event. I have the furniture store next door, but Peter had put on a Easter egg hunt at the shed lot, and I think it went over great. So I was not expecting a big turnout, to be honest with you, just because sometimes those events don't have big turnouts. But I was pleasantly surprised. He did a free bounce house for the kids, cotton candy, face painting, pancakes in the morning. It was a very inexpensive way to feed people, and a petting zoo. And of course, our family is a big family, so I think Peter's kids were running half of that. My kids were running the other half. My sister's kids were there running some, and so it was all inexpensive to get done. but it's a community event. I would say there was probably, I don't know, 300 people there for the first Easter egg hunt at 10, and probably 250 people there for the Easter egg hunt at 3 o'clock. And again, so we've been doing these events for years. We're actually known in the furniture world as the Santa Claus dealers. People used to make fun of us for it. We actually, years ago, we had a furniture store, and actually that same one there in Arcadia, the same exact location. That's where we started. And back in the day, we pioneered this idea of having Santa Claus come to our furniture store, and we did free 8x10s that my sister would take the picture, and we would later print it.
8x10 photos. You're talking to the shed people here.
Yeah, I'm speaking furniture language here. I'm sorry. You're right. A free 8x10 photo that we'd have professionally printed out. And for the first, I don't know, maybe 2 years, people began to make fun of us in the furniture industry, because just like the question you just asked, Peter, was how many sales did you have? And I'll give you a hint: 0. And it's the same way we had when we had our furniture. It wasn't about sales. It was about the community. It was about doing something that, I mean, Santa Claus cost us, $500 to have a professional Santa Claus come in, and a couple $100 in pictures. But it was unbelievable. I mean, year 3, 4, there was so many people in our stores that you couldn't even walk. And people began to realize that year 3, year 4, it was our biggest day by far. We were doing in one day what we did in a whole month on an average. And because the event began to grow. And so a lot of times when people do events like this, like Peter did this event, and I'm sure he spent a lot of money on it. He had big giveaways, and he had, potentially 550 people at his shed lot. And every time I walked out there was people walking in chicken coops, and there was people, there was a lot of leads. He didn't have any sales to my knowledge, but it's not necessarily about that. It's about getting your name out there for when those people think of buying a shed. Who do you think they're going to think of? The guy down the street that has an old banner, or somebody that provided them value, and they provided them with an experience that was free, and their kids enjoyed it. And now all their pictures, when they go back in a year or two and look at the Easter egg from last year, what's in it? Yes.
So I would ask, because this kind of segues into a marketing question. What you just said there, it's kind of top of mind. So you would refer that back to a top of mind type of marketing, kind of like Facebook marketing is sometimes referenced as a interruptive marketing, whereas Google marketing is intentional. And so I guess that's what you were looking to accomplish, or at least Peter was looking to accomplish with that Easter egg hunt. I know I saw some of the video from you going live, and I was intending on coming to it, but somebody had to make all the sales while you were doing the intentional marketing, or Peter was. But
yeah.
I digress.
So remember the Santa Claus dealer, people making fun of us? That's you right now. So in 2 or 3 years, when Crossroad is selling 25 sheds on a Saturday before Easter, you're going to be like, maybe I should have an Easter egg hunt. Go ahead.
So let me throw this in there right there. I know I mentioned Brandon Suarez at the beginning of this, and he put a lot of effort into that, I know, just by looking at the videos and such. But you listening out there, what did you do for Easter? Or what have you done for events in the past? For July 4th, I know we have different promotions that we try to run through our sales and different things, but how are you giving back to the community? Do you support a little league sponsor? I guess, do you sponsor a little league team? Do you sponsor maybe a volleyball team, basketball team? How are you giving back into your local community as a shed lot and as a shed manufacturer? If you drop those in the comments or call in, either way, let us know what you've done. Next thing I want to kind of segue into, unless you had more to say on that.
Real quick, I was talking to Peter Boyle about it, and the Shed Lot really hasn't done too many big events like that. He's really getting into that now, because before really it was the furniture store that did the events, and then we shared, cross exposure. But now that we're not as big in the furniture business anymore, I was talking to Peter Boyle about it, and he's going to plan on having events every year. So if you guys have any ideas for I don't even know what the next holiday isn't. Memorial Day the next holiday?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think Memorial Day is the next holiday in
Memorial Day and then July 4th.
Yeah. So let us know what your ideas are. Let's help the shed industry. I mean, it doesn't. I know everybody's always worried about sharing ideas because competition and stuff like that. But if we help each other out, we can grow this industry and grow your lot. Because if you have an Easter egg hunt and sell 25 sheds, it really doesn't probably affect, I guess, the people in your area. But most of these people on this call, could benefit from that. And I was talking to Peter about planning something big. This July, of course, is the 250th anniversary. I know that it's if you go to like Home Depot now, their buckets all have 250 on them in red, white, and blue. So I think this July 4th is going to be a big July 4th because everybody's going to be talking about it. So it's your opportunity to plan that event at your shed lot for 4th of July. Obviously, probably not on 4th of July, but the weekend before, the 2 weekends before, but some kind of event. And I would love to hear suggestions on what kind, what we can do. We were talking about that with me and Peter were talking about, like, what kind of experience can we do that is relatively inexpensive? Like the Easter egg thing wasn't that expensive. I mean, it was, Peter, if you're listening, comment on how much you spent on that whole event. Give us an idea on,
give us a total breakdown.
Yeah, just an idea of what it costs, because I mean, think about to have 500 people in your shed lot. How much would you pay for that? And these people were, and so the way Peter did a really good job at it, if you've seen the video, but basically the cotton candy and the bounce house at the beginning of the shed lot. And then you had to walk all the way through his lot for the different egg hunts, all the way to the back of his lot, and then come back around. And then he was nice enough to, the eggs didn't have candy in it for two reasons. One is for the ants, but really the other reason was to get the customers to move. So the customers would go all the way around the shed lot, the whole shed lot. He hit them in the sheds, and now the kids are looking in the sheds. And then to redeem your egg for candy, you had to go into the furniture store, which was next door, which I appreciate the free publicity. But now we had 550 people in our furniture store in line looking at our furniture. They just looked at all the sheds. And so, I don't know what the cost was, but think about how much would you pay to have 550 people looking at your sheds, opening your sheds, understanding it. And not only that, all the publicity that you have advertising the event, the people that didn't come, but think, man, that's a cool event. Everything was free. We had several people come to us like, hey, we just, thank you for doing this event for the community. We appreciate because most businesses are selling the cotton candy. They're selling the popcorn. There's, it's for us, it's no, everything's free because we have a bigger meaning. One, we want to give back to our community, but two is we want to be known in our community for doing that.
So question on that, and I don't know if he did this, I didn't see it myself, but if you, just another way to market that is, what if you did something, I think he, in the advertisements I saw, he was giving away a free electric bike or something like that to one winner. But what if you did something along the same lines? If you're doing advertising and you did a hashtag, like if you post a video of yourself at this Easter egg event and hashtag Easter egg crossroads or whatever that may be, then you go back through those, and one of those people, it wins something else, like a free drone or something like that. Something that would be cool for somebody, any age, they would love to have it. That just came to mind when you were talking about that. That would just be another way to highlight that event to the community. You're getting 550 potential people to post on their social media accounts to draw even more people to the event. So
yeah, absolutely. Peter just texted me. He said he spent around $1,500 for the event. So for $1,500, if you look at that as advertising expense, that's not a lot of money, but it made a lot of kids happy, and it got a lot of people to look at sheds, look at furniture, We sold furniture that day, but it wasn't a killer day. It was a good day, but it wasn't anything spectacular. But on things like that, you have to build it. But it's just so the way we got sales on our day after Thanksgiving with Santa Claus is because we were advertising free pictures with Santa. We actually got with the principal of the school, and they allowed us. They had somebody that would stick a flyer in every kid's backpack before they left for Christmas break, because we weren't advertising. We were advertising a free community event, and so it was. I mean, can you imagine every kid in all the schools in our county coming home with this free picture with Santa and had our name on it? We didn't advertise sale. We didn't advertise, sofas for $199. We didn't advertise. It was just a community event, but it turned into our biggest day. We were selling more in one day than we were in a whole month, because we built that event by simply just caring about the community, giving the stuff away. But anyways, we'd love to hear your ideas, including Peter's hashtag. We got to write that
down. So one of the things I thought was interesting is because I remember those days, because before I started selling sheds, I actually worked at the furniture store in Arcadia. And I started, get this, on December 23rd, so right before Christmas. And so you had all the Christmas lights and stuff up. But that following year, we would have the shed lot open on what everybody referred to as Black Friday. I don't know if it's eventually going to wear off, but I remember going over there and seeing you had it all set up for Santa Claus and all those different things. And I remember the buzz that was around everybody walking. You had, who is it? Mariah Carey singing "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Annoying music, but it brought an atmosphere. We had Mrs. Claus. I remember it was Gary's wife was making cookies. You had one of the ovens there with cookies going and milk and all those things. Something that people remembered, even if it was just for a little bit, but it stuck in their mind. But that being said, send in a message. One of the things I wanted to segue into, and it's probably not as exciting or interesting to talk about, but it's something that's impacting everybody across the board, is the war that's going on right now in Iran and what that's doing to cost of fuel. One of the things I've noticed is when I fill up, I'm noticing that the cost is a lot more expensive. To fill up my tank runs about $95 to fill up my truck, and it used to be something around $60 and such. And curious to see what people are saying out there. Have you done anything as a shed lot? I got an email this morning from one of our manufacturers that they were adding a fuel surcharge onto every single delivery to alleviate some of the costs to the haulers. Have you seen that in your shed lots? If so, comment below. Curious to see what the impact is going to be long term. I saw that with this 2-week ceasefire that was put in place, that the price of oil had dropped. I think it was $5 or $7 in just a few hours. So hopefully that will drive down the cost of fuel, and we won't run into that. But what do you see on that from the furniture side? I know you don't have as many trucks on the road because of what you're going into, but what is your thoughts on that?
So we want to know, comment below, are you for the war or against the war? We got to say something controversial to get comments. I mean, come on. I'm just kidding. But feel free to comment. We check these. So even if obviously it's hard to watch it live with your schedules, but comment below and we'll get to it next week, or we'll just see your feedback. And we appreciate that. I don't know much about that, the surcharge and stuff like that, Peter, but we forgot to ask Peter the question. Peter, it sounds like you're at daycare. We can hear the kids in the background. Where are you at?
Well, actually, I don't know if you can see. It's kind of blurry, but that is a lake back there, and there's a bunch of kids out back playing, and so they're out at the lake playing, and I'm just sitting here on the back porch. So
nice.
No daycare.
Yeah, actually, those are my kids that are screaming back there. We're actually at one of our Airbnb the lake house. It's about a couple minutes down the road from one of Peter's shed lots here in Sebring, Florida. And so we came over here to have this conversation. We're actually in 2 rooms, but I can see him out the window. But anyways, it is a beautiful day here in sunny Southwest Florida. But back to your question, Peter, about the fuel surcharge. I know things go up and down. I know that when I'm doing semis of furniture, obviously the freight is way up. And we'd be curious to see if prices are going to, because obviously, they say they're going to go back down, but they keep saying that every week, right? And now we're 5 weeks into this. It'll be interesting to see what happens to prices and customers. When they see this on the news, I think customers are almost anticipating a increase. I know when I think about it, I think prices are going to go up, right? And so it's hard in the shed industry because prices don't fluctuate that much. I know, like maybe once a year people do price increases. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But let us know what your thoughts are on it. And reach out to us and let us know. We'd love to hear how you're handling that if you do have an increase, how you're handling that with your customers. Peter, speaking of yours, $50, are you passing that on to the customer, or are you telling the customer about that? How are you handling it on your lot?
So it is one of our manufacturers. It's not all of our manufacturers. And so I will say on that particular one, through the point of sale system, it automatically adds it to the sale. So yes, it is getting passed on to the customer. That is, and that was kind of a decision almost made for us in that case. If I'm going to lose a sale over $50, I'll reach in the drawer and pull out a $50 bill or something along those lines, make a reduction in our profit to get a sale. I don't want to lose a sale over $50. But like you said, to your point, if the general public sees what's going on, they kind of are somewhat prepared. The shock of paying an extra $50 may not affect them too much, but it does end up helping that shed hauler who has to fill up that truck probably at least once every 2 days, if not once every day, because you haul those trucks. I was at our Sebring lot this morning. There was a truck there. He dropped off the shed for stock there, and then he was headed over to the Arcadia lot to drop off another one there. And I didn't get a chance to ask him what his price on fuel was, but I imagine if my truck is $95, then you're looking at probably close to $200 to fill up the truck, and that's a big cost to everybody, including all the insurance and such. So if you're a hauler, how is this affecting you? And have you done anything on your private moves or anything along those lines to combat the price that has been added to your burden of your business?
Yeah, I know my truck, Peter. I have a diesel. Mine's $155 to fill it up now, and I drive a lot. So I actually just went out and bought a hybrid car that gets 55 miles to the gallon. And so when I drive far now, I drive that. And then when I'm in town or I need to haul something, then obviously I have my truck. But Peter, I know we've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, but we're getting closer. Hopefully by next week, we can announce some information on the Shed Sales Summit, who our speakers are going to be. When is our ticket sales going to launch, Peter?
So ticket sales, we're looking to start on May the 1st. Or thereabouts. I got to look at that actual date because I don't want to. Let me look here real quick. But we're looking at the beginning of May. That's on a Friday, and so one of the things that we're looking to do is to have some possibility for you guys not just to do a regular sale ticket, but a upgrade to a VIP experience. I know we had quite a few people go to our VIP event last year, and the feedback that we got from that was, just incredible. I know personally, I had the opportunity to talk to some people and kind of dive a little bit deeper into the networking side of things that I had no idea these people were in the room until we started this one-on-one conversation, and everybody is listening into that, and then they're able to ask questions or dive a little bit deeper in. That's the one value that I think is overlooked the most, is the networking aspect of these events. You may say, oh, well, that speaker, I've never heard of him, or, this session I've never seen before. But there's a lot of people that are doing almost the same thing you are, just a little bit differently. And if you can network and find out what that is, maybe it can help your shed lot to do just a few percentages better. We do that over and over. We're just going to increase the shed industry that much better along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some big name speakers coming in, and got my Chick-fil-A cup here to you guys.
Mine too.
Give you a hint of who's going to be one of our speakers, but I'm not allowed to say it. Peter won't let me say it yet.
No, you gotta hold on.
We are enjoying Chick-fil-A today. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But hopefully we'll have that to you by next week. Peter, any other things we want to cover on that really quickly on the Shed Sales Summit? I know we pretty much talk almost every single day about the Shed Sales Summit.
Yeah, so I would say make sure that you get your tickets early, because one of the things, this is going to be an event that you don't want to miss, and there is going to be somewhat of a limit of how many people can come just because of the room size. So make sure you get your tickets early. If you can get your team to come. I was talking to one person who came last year, and he had never been before, and his response to me is like, if I had known what I know now, I would have brought more of my team along to be able to attend this. And that's what we want to say is like, listen, there's other people that came and they wish they would have brought more people, because it is an investment in your people to be able to input into them some of the networking / ideas of marketing and sales and what to do, what not to do. There's a lot of what not to do. We can tell you all day long about what to do, but a lot of people are doing stuff that they really need to cut out of their sales process. And so I would just highly recommend that you get your tickets early. Make sure you're set aside the time to be at the Shed Sales Summit. Invest in your team, invest in your people, and we look forward to seeing you at the Shed Sales Summit.
Yes, absolutely. And our speakers last year were great, but I think this year it's going to be really cool speakers. I'm excited about just getting to meet these speakers, let alone listen to them speak. But anyways, we'll get you more information on that soon. Don't forget to follow us on the Simply Shed Talk group. We also share this to the Shed Sales Professionals group, the Shed Sales Summit Facebook page, and set your notifications on. When we go live, you'll get a notification when we're on live. Also, if you want to, during the week, if you want to text me a question, email me a question, we can talk about the show. Also, anybody is welcome to join this show. I know we've had some people call in and tell us what they do, maybe promote their business. Anybody is welcome to join this show. But Peter, did you have anything else before we wrap this show up today?
Well, I did want to say and I guess this is going back to the Shed Sales Summit. We are investing into our team, and I guess I'm hammering a nail here, but we're investing into our team. I know last year there was people that shut down for a whole week to be able to bring their team to it. We're investing into our team. We're going to move personnel around so that we can bring some of our salespeople into this, because we believe so much in it. And I know that's a hard decision to make for you at your shed lot, to make sure that your shed lots are covered. But if at all possible, send your salespeople. And that's my final note. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. And like Andrew had said before, he's looking at moving the time that we start this. We usually go around 2:00 Eastern. So if there's a certain time that works better for you, I know live is the best, but sometimes you have to watch this afterwards. Send us an email, send us a text. We are looking to potentially move that around a little bit, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you guys so much. Be sure to join us next week for the Simply Shed Talk Show. Thank you.